Hello guys, how are you all? Today we're going to learn to multiply, divide powers. So for example, let's say to multiply powers, let's say 2 to the 4th exponent. I want to multiply with the 2 to the 3rd exponent. What I need to keep is keep the base and then add the exponents, which is 4 plus 3, which gives you 2 to the 7th exponent. Same thing, we can create as a formula a to the n times a to the n. You can write a to the m plus n. So this is the rule that we need to remember for the exponents. When you multiply two exponents, we add the powers. So the vocabulary that we need to learn in this one is monomial, instead of just like one term. I'm going to go ahead and then write the rule for you guys. To multiply powers with the same base, add their exponents. That's what we did. We keep the base. This is called the base. So we kept that, but we add the exponents here. So we get that power, like final answer for this. Let's practice some questions. The question says simplify using the laws of exponents. So the question is given 5 to the 2nd exponent times 5. There is no exponent, means always 1 is there. Remember, we used to talk about it. When there is no exponent, it's always 1. So I can write it 5 to the 2nd exponent times 5 to the 1st exponent. And then I see the same bases. The bases are the same. So I'm going to keep the base. I'm going to write down the 5, which is a base. Now I'm going to add the exponents, which is 2 and 1. So I'm going to add 2 and 1, which gives 5 to the 3rd exponent. Just like in the last lesson, we learned 5 to the 3rd exponent means 5 you multiply 3 times, which is 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5, which gives 125. That's the answer when we simplify 5 to the 2nd exponent times 5 to the no exponent means 1 exponent. Let's try the similar question with the variables as a base. Now the question says simplify using the laws of exponents. So c to the 3rd exponent and c to the 5th exponent. So we're multiplying together, and then I see the same base. So I'll have to apply the formula or the rule, keep the base, add the exponents, 3 plus 5. So when I add these two, c to the 3 plus 5 is 8. That's it. This is all we need to do. Now let's try another question. Simplify using laws of exponents. And then the question is given to you, negative 3 x to the 2nd exponent and 4 times x to the 5th exponent. So first place, I see a numbers, so I'm going to multiply those numbers first. So I'm going to multiply the constants or the numbers, the coefficients first, which is negative 3 and 4. So I'm going to multiply those numbers first. So I multiply negative 3 and then 4. And then I'm going to write down the variables. Let me change the color. X to the 2nd exponent times x to the 5th exponent. Now since I have those numbers, I'm going to multiply them. Negative 3 times 4 gives you negative 12. And then here we're going to use the rule that we learned right now. So keep the base, add the exponents. So my total answer is going to be negative 12, and then x to the 2 plus 5, which is 7. Your total answer is negative 12 x to the 7th exponent. In simple words, we see negative 3 times 4, which is negative 12, x to the 2, x to the 5, add the exponents, which is 2 plus 5, which is 7. Next rule in this lesson is quotient of powers. The quotient of powers is nothing but to divide powers with the same base, all you have to do is subtract the exponents. What does this mean? So let's take an example. Let's say I'm dividing 3 to the 7th exponent with 3 to the 3rd exponent. All I have to see is look at the base. I have the same bases, so I'm going to keep the base and then subtract the exponents, which is 7 take away 3. In the last one, in the last rule, when you multiply, I add them, but in this case, when I divide them, I have to subtract the exponents. So we can write as a rule, a to the n divided by a to the n. I can write it, keep the base, and then m minus n. This is the rule. And condition, we can say a not equals to 0. Now let's do a practice question. Simplify using the laws of exponents. So the laws of exponents, the question is given 4 to the 8th exponent, divide 4 to the 2nd exponent. So when I see the divide, I also have the same base, all I have to apply the formula or the rule, keep the base, and then subtract the exponents. So 8 take away 2, which is 4 is the base, 8 minus 2, which is 6. That's the answer. Let's try another question with the letters as an exponents out here. So simplify using the laws of exponents. We have n to the 9th exponent and then n to the 4th exponent. We are dividing them. Whenever you're dividing, your brain is going to tell we have to use this formula or the rule. You have to subtract the exponents. So you keep the base, which is n is your base. So you keep that. Then you're going to write it 9 take away 4, which is n to the 5th exponent. All right, let's try another question. Simplify using laws of exponents. We have a question 2 to the 5th, 3 to the 5th, 5 to the 2nd, over 2 to the 2nd, 3 to the 4th, 5 to the no exponent means 1 is there. So now when we simplify this one, I always look at the same base. That's what I'm concentrating on. So now I'm going to write it one time, 2 to the 5th exponent, 3 to the 5th exponent, and 5 to the 2nd exponent, over, I can write it to the 2nd, over 3 to the 4th, and then over 5 to the 1. So I can see this one, I can apply the formula since I have the same base up here. So I'll keep the base, which is 2, subtract the exponents, 5 take away 2, and keep the base, 5 take away 4, and 5 exponent 2 take away 1. So I'm going to write this again. So 2 to the 3rd exponent times 3 to the 1 exponent times 5 to the 1 exponent. So if I expand this one, 2 to the 3rd exponent means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. I'm going to write it one more time. 2 times 2 times 2 times, this is 3 to the 1, and then 5 to the 1. So I'm going to multiply that. So 8 times 3 times 5 gives you 120. When I simplify this entire exponent, so I'm going to get 120. At this time, let's try our problem. Hawaii has a total shore is about 2 to the 10 miles long, and the New Hemisphere has the shore about 2 to the 7 miles long. About how many times longer Hawaii's shoreline than the New Hemisphere. All right. So let's do this one. So to find this one, what we need to divide 2 to the 10 by 2 to the 7 to find how many times. So obviously we're dividing, so I can write this one 2 to the 10 divided by 2 to the 7. So when I see the same bases, I keep the base, and then I'm subtracting the exponents, which is 10 take away 7, which gives me 10 to the, or 2 to the 3rd exponent, or you can say it 2 to the 3rd means 2, we're going to multiply 3 times, which is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So it's basically, it's 8 times longer. I hope this will help you to complete the other work. Please subscribe so that way whenever I post a new video, you will get and also complete the work to submit it online. Thank you.